Hello everyone. I just wanted to bring an art meditation to you today. So this is basically, we're going to be focusing on the theme of flowers, which is a beautiful focus for any sort of creative enterprise. Um, and I just kind of wanted to, it's not a traditional meditation in the sense that we're going to be closing our eyes and grounding or whatever, but the art activity itself is a way of grounding yourself and becoming more centered. So um, I think art's just really powerful because it does calm the nervous system, which is what meditation does. But more than that, it's a way of accessing or deepening any sort of spiritual growth or personal growth that you're doing, because you can you can access your subconscious a lot easier, and your unconscious mind and your intuition, because you're kind of getting away from that monkey mind, I guess, that left brain problem solving mind, and stepping into sort of a space that is more open ended. And that said, this art experience is really, really open ended. So before we start, you what I'm working with, I'm just going to show you what I'm working with today, and feel free to use other art materials as well. So this is basically a mixed media art activity. So what I've got here, this is called, if you can see that's in mixed media terms, I guess, it's called a substrate. And all a substrate is just a prepared surface. So I basically grabbed, like I bought some old books from an op shop. I mean, this is what it looks like now. Like, it's all torn up, and the yellowed pages are quite lovely. They create like a nice background and texture and everything. So this was just prepared using, I'll show you what I do. I usually get just some PVA glue from, you can get it anywhere, just woodworking glue. And I dilute it probably about quarter water, and then the rest, just so it's a little bit diluted, sorry. And it's just easier to apply, that's all. It's just a very practical thing. The other thing that I like to work with on this one particularly, I'm no good at traditional watercolor by any means, but I've got these tablets, and can you see that? So they're very well loved. They're really bright. They don't look it as you're looking at them, but they're really, really bright. So you kind of need to test the colours out. You can get these at most art supply shops, and they're quite inexpensive. They're quite good. So I'll be using those. I've also got some watercolour pencils. Now, these are not just normal watercolour pencils. They're called Inktense, and their name says it all. They're very, very vibrant, and they're very expensive, but they're worth it because, yeah, their colours are just amazing, and they're just beautiful to work with. But that said, if you've got just normal aquarels or watercolours, they will work just as well. Well, they'll be just as nice. Like, you just get a different effect. It'll probably be more subtle. Um, the other thing I like to splash around is I've got some coloured India ink, and I just like to drip it and use it to experiment with. Probably won't use that today, but it's nice to have it later if you feel like your piece of artwork needs something else. And the same with a little bit of gold. I think gold is a nice thing to have. Any sort of gold paint, they're all kind of different, so you have to just experiment, see what works for you. And good old Sharpie or fine liner, nice to do details afterwards when you've finished it and you look at it and you think you might want to work back into it. So basically it's just mix and match. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to bring a meditation of sorts, or a thought around flowers. Let me see if I can pull these. These are beautiful. I can see them on the screen. So I bought these the other day for myself, and I really just wanted to, for today's little art practice, to focus in on all the beautiful shapes that we've got here. So there's some chrysanthemums and a little rose in the middle, red rose, which is sweet. And these little shapes here, I don't know if you can see, these are from a native, look like a acacia or something. Not sure, not good on my names with plants, but I think that these are beautiful shapes. And we've got a couple of gerberas and this little plant here, which I have no idea what the name is. But flowers to me, I think are just so ethereal. Like when you think about a flower, it doesn't actually often, I mean, it has a purpose as far as bees and all the rest of it and pollen. But as far as their beauty, there's no real purpose apart from beauty itself, and the colours are just exquisite. And so just wanted to bring a few thoughts about it. So we've got that idea that they're really ethereal and that they really do speak of like the spiritual realm in a sense. Like when you think of the delicate fragrance and when you think about just all those qualities of joy that they bring. It was even, I was just reading the other day Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth, and he does talk a lot about flowers and how different mystical teachers over the years have used flowers to sort of as a metaphor really for the spirit. I mean, Jesus said, look at the flowers, like God looks after them, God's going to look after you. I think it was Buddha in Eckhart Tolle's book, he says Buddha calls them a silent sermon, which is just lovely. Like really can learn a lot about it because of the fragility of them and being able to, not like this is cut flowers, but being able to look at beauty and not have to cut it down, just to be able to enjoy it. So there's a lot in it, and I really would encourage you, if you have like a favourite flower or something that really stands out to you, look up the meaning, because the meanings are really powerful, and they can be very symbolic. A lot of times in my work I use flower symbolism. So that said, we're going to get on with our art activity. So I want you to just really sort of focus in on and think about this delicate beauty, think about this softness that they bring, and maybe kind of imbuing that into your life and into your heart today. So I'll put them over there because they're kind of in the way. So what I'm going to be doing, no further ado, I'm going to focus this down so you can see what I'm up to. So I'm going to be just really open-ended, grabbing some of the flower shapes. And what I like to do is I love to combine it with a little flower face, because I find it's almost like speaks to me of fairy tales. And I'm going to be using just this pencil to come in and just do some initial shapes, and we'll see what happens and we'll see where we go with it. Anyway. Just going to come in with like a real line drawing, I think, to start with. Looking at those beautiful little leaves. And just try and relax into the experience and let whatever comes out of it just emerge. And remember, there's no mistakes, just happy accidents, like what Bob Ross says. If you've heard of Bob Ross. And do my little flower face. Hey, that will do for now. I enjoyed doing mine. Hopefully you enjoyed this art activity. It's just so lovely to see what unfolds, and honestly really encourage you just take the inner critic off, and um, you can, by taking just one starting point, like using the idea of flowers. I mean, obviously I haven't done anything that's been particularly realistic, and it's just been what emerges, and you know, it's just was a lot of fun kind of a thing. I ended up using this metallic paint at the end. It's kind of like a varnish, so as it dries, it'll probably look a lot more what's the word? Well, metallic. You'll see the little metallic shards through it. So it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I can be contacted on my Facebook page, Alyssa's Art Garden. I'm pretty active there, and on Instagram, Alyssa Canich Art. And God bless you. I hope you really enjoyed this art activity, and just keep being creative. It's just where so much joy is. God bless. Bye.